Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to sit down and film a kind of informal get ready with me featuring some of the products that I really loved throughout the month of July. So I did just put on my moisturizer and so I'm going to go right in with my primer. Today I'm going to be using a couple of primers actually. The first one is the Spotlight Primer from Physicians Formula. I love this stuff, but you have to kind of be careful where you use it because this is seriously very glowy and luminous. So if you're someone that doesn't like that look, you definitely would not like this. But I basically just take like half a pump of that and put it kind of right where I would want to be highlighted, basically like my nose, like the center of my face and the tops of my cheekbones, and then I just kind of like rub that like outwards on my face, whatever is left. Then I'm going to go in with, this is the Cover FX Blurring Primer. This came in a BoxyCharm a couple of months ago, and I really like this for right around my nose. I don't have a lot of like large pore issues, but I do have some right here, just right around my nose, and I find that this does help to kind of smooth things out a little bit. I even like to kind of put it on my smile lines. I don't know that it does anything there, but I like to think that it does. So, any of you guys ever wonder that? Do you ever wonder if like some things, like if it's all in your head? So then I'm gonna go in and take my Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer. I like putting my primers all on at the same time because I find that if I don't, then sometimes I forget. So I hope that you can't hear the background noise. My baby girl is trying to fall asleep and I can actually hear her crying right now. I hope that you can't hear that on camera, but I'm trying to let her just figure it out because she definitely needs a nap, especially if we're gonna be going out to lunch. She needs her nap or it's gonna be a nightmare. Those of you that have kids, particularly like young kids, like babies and toddlers, do you feel like nap time is like critical? I definitely feel that way. I stress about it a lot. My husband kind of makes fun of me real quickly. This is just for foundation, Milani Conceal and Perfect. I'm using the shade 03 Light Beige, and I'm just gonna kind of like dot that on my face. If you've been out and about with a toddler that doesn't have a lot of sleep under their belt, and then on the flip side, if you've been out and about with a toddler that's well rested and has like their nap in, it is a world of difference. I've had some serious stressful meltdowns from taking tired kids out with me, so I am like all about trying to get them to take that nap. I have been loving this for the summer because my skin's a little bit tanner and the shade actually matches me because the formulation of this foundation is really good. If you like a full coverage foundation that's not too heavy feeling on the skin but is kind of a little bit luminous and glowy, this is a really good one. So for my concealer, I'm going to be using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I have two shades of this. I have Fair 5 and then Light 20. So light number 20 definitely is a little bit darker. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I find that the darker one does oxidize a lot more than the lighter shade. So I actually like to combine these two because I think the light shade is a little too light and the fair is a little bit too deep, at least for under my eyes. So I just pop those right under my eye and pop a little bit right here. I have this, I don't know, honestly, I don't know what this thing was. I mean, it was a zit, but it kind of almost, the way that it's been like acting reminds me of like a cold sore, but I don't think it was a cold sore because cold sores, they feel differently. I don't get them very often, but once or twice a year probably I'll get a cold sore. And this definitely was more like a zit, but it just is like, it will not heal. I cannot get it to go away. So I have this like massive thing in between my lips. Okay, so I'm gonna set all of that with my RCMA No Color Powder. So for summertime, I do find that I need to set like the center of my forehead just a little bit. I typically have extremely dry skin, but in the summer I do get a little bit shiny on my forehead just because it's so freaking hot. The summer's been so hot. But I do just like to set a little tiny bit of powder just on my forehead, my eyelids, and then like right here under my eyes. I don't like to get like too much powder everywhere else. I will kind of take just like what's left on the brush and like set right on my cheeks just to kind of make sure it's not too tacky for when I put on my bronzer and my blush. So I'm going to do my face first, I think, like the rest of my face products. So let's go in with bronzer. Today I'm going to use the Too Faced Milk Chocolate, no, this is the Chocolate Soleil bronzer. This is like the medium one. I love this bronzer. It smells amazing. It's really nice and firmly pressed. It's like the perfect tone. It's slightly cool toned, but it's not too ashy looking on my skin. It just looks really, really nice. It's really easy to use. I'm just gonna kind of put that, I just like to go right where the hollow of my cheek is and kind of like blend upwards and into my hairline. So is anyone else out there just so excited for school to start? I'm not in school. My kids are going back to school. I can't, I'm so excited. And that sounds really mean. I mean, it's been, this summer's been great. Like, it's been a really fun summer. I love summers. I love having my kids home for the summer, but if you're a mom, by the end of the summer, you are like, more than anything, not ready to get rid of your kids. I think more than anything, just ready for like consistency and schedule, like a schedule back, because it's hard when, you know, summer's here and your kids are up till 10, 11 o'clock at night, which basically takes away your me time, because that's like my me time or us time for my husband and I to like unwind. And in the summer, it's fun to do it all together as a family, but you kind of miss that once, like after a while, you kind of feel like, okay, we need time alone, like away from the kids. And it's a little harder to find that during the summertime. Now I'm gonna go in with my highlighter first before I do my blush. This is such a great highlighter, and I cannot believe I hit pan on this, which I kind of rambled about in my last video, so I hate to keep rambling about that, but I never hit pan on anything, so this is like a big deal to me. So this is the Precious Petals from Wet n Wild, their Mega Glow highlighter, and this is just such a great highlighter, especially for summertime when you have a little bit, if you're fair, when you have a little bit of a like color to your skin, a little bit of a tan. It just works so well. It has that perfect kind of like champagne-y gold undertone. It is a little bit dark for me in the wintertime, so I can't use this in the winter, but I don't know how well it's picking up on camera, but I just think it's so pretty. Just a tiny bit right here, although right now I feel like I really should probably not be drawing attention to this area of my lips because of my blemish. But I can't help myself. This is just such a pretty highlighter. I like to take my damp beauty blender after I put that highlighter on because it is pretty intense, and I like to just kind of like go over the top of it just so it kind of like melts in with the rest of my skin. So for blush today, I'm going to use Margin by MAC. This is one, I think I've said this before, but this is one of my all-time favorite blushes, especially for summertime. It's just the perfect, like a warm bronze. I can't explain it. It's just kind of like it reminds me of like the mix between like a blush, a highlight, and a bronzer kind of all in one. Which if you, speaking of like multi-purpose products, if you want like a product that is like a one and done kind of like cheek color, this is definitely a good one because it gives you like a nice blushed effect, but because it is kind of like I wouldn't call it a bronze by any means, but it definitely has that kind of golden like warm undertone. You could totally skip the bronzer, skip the highlight because this is quite luminous, and just put this on and be done. I'm gonna take just like what's left and kind of put that along my nose, my forehead, just to make me look beautifully sunburned. I'm gonna do my eyebrows real quick before we go into eyes. Today I'm gonna use the, what is this called again? Cella Tantalizing Eyebrow Cream. This also came in a BoxyCharm, and I've really been enjoying this. Like it's kind of like an awkward packaging situation. So you have this like, this kind of twists on. This is the actual product that's in here. And the other side has just like a capped angled brush, just a standard like angled brush. But I kind of thought that was a little weird when I first got it. I didn't think that I would enjoy this very much. Okay guys, so I have to apologize. My camera just like froze. My monitor was still going and it looked like I was still recording. I didn't realize I was like talking to you guys and doing my makeup for like 10 minutes before I realized that it wasn't recording. So let me just kind of recap kind of what's happened from where I left off. So I basically did my eyebrows like I was showing you with the Cella eyebrow product, and then I went and set them with the Essence Make Me Brow. And then I went in and I began using the Alamar Cosmetics palette. So this is the one I really wanted to show you guys too, which kind of sucks. But this, I was so excited to share with you guys in my monthly favorites because I've been loving this summer. It's just such a great, easy to use, but beautiful and kind of different palette than what I typically reach for. You can see these colors are a little bit bold, at least for me. I mean, I'm definitely the type of person that like is very boring when it comes to their makeup, but I just really love these. The formulation of these is really incredible quality. I mean, probably better than a lot of ones that I've tried, even some of my higher end palettes. Really, really love this. I love the colors. I've really been like learning to love using these really bright pops of kind of orange and yellow in the crease. I just think they look so pretty, especially if you have blue or green eyes. I mean, honestly, even brown eyes, it would look amazing on. So basically what I did today is I started off with this color right here, which is Cocoa Taxi. It's basically the color of my shirt. It's kind of like a mustardy yellow orange. And I just popped that in the crease, just really with a really big fluffy brush. And then I kind of with a smaller fluffy brush went in with this orange. This is like a terracotta shade. This is Tropico. And then I just kind of concentrated that just right, kind of a little bit more right in the crease. Then with my finger, I went in with this color right here, which is kind of like a pink champagne, and just put that all over the lid. I love, this is like the standard lid color that I often use, but this is a really good version of like a pink champagne-y color. It's just really brightening and really, it works good with the cooler tones in here, and it works great with the warmer tones in here as well. So basically that's what I did. I do want to go and add a little bit of depth, just kind of right here to the corner. So I'm going to take these two shades that kind of mix those together on just a really small fluffy brush. And I'm just going to kind of swirl those right at the corner of my lash line right there. Just kind of, I like to kind of like pull down and then kind of pull over just a tiny bit, just to blend it. So I'm going to kind of start in my lower lash line. I'm going to start off by going in with kind of a mix between the two like transition shades here, kind of the terracotta and the mustard color. And I'm just going to take those, just a MAC 217 brush, just like a small fluffy, semi-fluffy brush. And I'm just going to kind of run that right in the outer like third of my lash line. This brush is slightly pinched. You can see you definitely could use like a smudge brush, but it's just kind of what I have up here. So I'm gonna go in with, I think it's Varadero. This is just kind of like the blue, like oceany color right here. And I'm just gonna take that on just kind of like a small smudge brush. This is just the brush that comes in the Anastasia palettes. I love this like as a smudge brush. I have a lot of other smudge brushes, but this one I just think it's really nice and soft, but it works really well. Okay, I'm gonna add just a little bit of setting spray. I just like to take a little bit and just spray it on the back of my hand and take my brush and kind of get some of that liquid on there, and then go back into that color just to make it a little bit more vibrant. So I was mentioning as I was recording but not recording that I'm the type of person that's like, when it comes to trends, regardless of what the trend is, if it's like makeup or fashion, I'm always very hesitant to like jump onto a trend. And it's not because I'm anti-trendy or anything. It's just because I have a hard time getting out of my comfort zone, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But I have been that way kind of with like the really warm eyeshadows, like really warm reds and oranges. And I've just recently kind of like learned to just really love those types of colors, because they intimidated me for quite a while. So I was mentioning, like, one example is when I was in high school, so this is like late 90s. So when I was all about like kind of wide-legged flare jeans were like, that was like the only jean that anyone wore. And then I remember capris becoming a thing. Anybody remember capris? I don't think anybody wears capris anymore. I remember seeing some girls wearing capris and just thinking, whoa, like, what is that? I don't think I could ever wear that. And then of course, like 5 years later, I had tons of capris. I was wearing them all the time. I loved them. I thought I looked so good in them. And then fast forward 8-10 years, and when I was like a young mom in my early 20s, that was when the skinny jean kind of became like the thing. And I remember, I'm like 24, 25, and I remember seeing like some teenage girls, like high school girls, walking around in these jeans that just were like really skinny at the ankle. And I remember just thinking like, and then it's funny to look in my closet now and like 99% of the jeans that I own are skinny jeans. Like that's, which I think is so funny. I mean, I remember the first time I like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna buy a skinny jean. And, you know, I was like uncomfortable because even though I loved how it looked on, you know, at this point I'd gotten used to it and I loved how it looked on everybody else around me, but I just wasn't sure that it looked good on me. That's just kind of how I am. Like I'm very cautious, I guess, when it comes to like trends. I'm not experimental at all. I kind of wish that I was because life is too short. So there's that color on the lower lash line. I'm a little bit uncertain about how, like if I think this looks good on me personally, but like I was just mentioning, that's just kind of how I am. So I'm just gonna go with it. I think once I put mascara and stuff on, it's gonna be a lot more like, I mean, I'd say subtle, but I mean, that's like hardly any color at all. Some of you might be looking at me thinking like, you're crazy. That's like, that is nothing. So real quick, I'm just gonna go in and line my upper waterline with this pencil from Essence. It's just a brown standard pencil eyeliner. So now I'm gonna go back into the Alamar palette and take this dark brown right here. I'm gonna kind of start building that up just on the upper like lash line area. Just right at the outer corner, just to kind of darken up my lash line, make my lashes look a little bit thicker. Because heaven knows I don't have very thick lashes. So now for mascara. So I mentioned this also in my July favorites. This is just the Maybelline Lash Sensational. This has actually been a favorite of mine for a really long time. I just recently, like I've stopped using it because I've been like accumulating so many mascaras. I've had quite a few mascaras coming in boxy charms. I just kind of went back to this last month and just really was reminded of how much I love this mascara. This is a great mascara if you don't want to or don't like to curl your eyelashes. This actually kind of gives your eyelashes some like natural curl. So I love that this curls your eyelashes just a little bit, gives them a little bit of lift without having to use an eyelash curler. It's so glossy and inky and black, and it lasts really well on the eyelashes. Almost done. Last thing is lips. Again, I mentioned this in my July favorites. I've been really loving this lip combo right here. So this lip liner is from Palladio. This one is in the color Naked, and it's just like it's a perfect nude lip liner. This kind of is the type of lip liner that goes with pretty much anything. I mean, anything that's relatively nude, whether it be like a pinky nude or a peachy nude or like a brownie nude, this would go with any lip color. So after I line the outside, I kind of will just draw like a few little, not necessarily fill them in, but just draw like a couple. This is really hard to do and talk at the same time. I should explain it first. I basically just draw like a few little lines or dots on my lips. So once I put I don't want them just to look like they're outlined, so I kind of want it to blend in with the lipstick that I put on next because it is quite a bit lighter than this actual color. For my lipstick, I am using the L'Oreal Color Riche Shine lipstick in the color Shining Peach. I said this before, I don't know why they call this peach. This is absolutely a pink. Like, it's a very neutral pink, but it's definitely, I don't think there's any, this doesn't look very peach to me at all. This color is a little bit light and frosty, so it definitely needs like a darker lip liner underneath it for it to work. If you find that like your lip color is still looking a little bit too light, you could always just get a different lipstick, or you could just go back in with your lip liner and kind of just like go over it just to darken it up just a little bit. All right, you guys, so this is the finished look. I really love how this turned out. I mean, I have been loving these things really through the whole course of the summer, especially that eyeshadow palette. If you are looking for like kind of colorful, a little bit different than like the standard neutral eyeshadow palette, that's one I definitely recommend checking out. The quality on that is just, seriously, I can't stop singing its praises. I should stop because I've said it like 14 times, but I really, really love that. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys again so much for stopping by. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button before you guys leave. I'd love to see you guys back here again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.